Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTrade.com nightly wrap-up show. So, this evening, if you really had to think about what the most impressive story, or kind of one of the more leading stories an outlet could lead with, such as let's just call it market watch, right? It wasn't the Apple numbers that fueled a pretty aggressive rally in in Apple shares that really lifted the tech sector towards the end of the day. It wasn't Facebook's numbers that initially, popped off. They're kind of leveling out there. It wasn't even a headline of kind of a lackish, uneventful headline with the Fed talked about, yeah, we're going to raise rates. Don't worry about it. We'll let you know when. Nope. The main headline today on Market Watch, right, or one of the main headlines, I don't want to completely crap on them, was Apple trader loses bet, or did he? And for those of you guys who don't know, it was from yesterday. If you guys remember this schmuck wearing a wolf mask, and yes, it's just not going away. A schmuck went on social media and he went on YouTube and he broadcasted his, I guess, quote unquote, massive short position in Apple, right? In Apple, while broadcasting it to 16,000 people, which went viral after the fact. The schmuck sitting there with a huge loss wearing a wolf mask. That's right, guys. That is the story on Market Watch. Okay, so apparently this thing has legs. Apparently, some people had doubts this was real. Seriously, some people had doubts this was real, and apparently this is leading news. That's right. Welcome to new social media. It's the more stupid the headline, the more readers, the more eyeballs it will attract. So yes, that is your headline. That is your nightly recap, guys. Have a great night. Right? Okay. For the rest of us who trade real money, real stocks and do this for a living, the market was a little bit differently. So let's talk about technicals first, and then we'll kind of fast forward into what we did today in the day and what we expect for tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a very interesting day. You got Amazon reporting. So far, right, out of the fangs, you had Netflix, right? You had Netflix. Just kind of review here. So you had Netflix had a pretty good quarter, right? Had a pretty good quarter, gapped up, and now it's just kind of going through this long distribution, about 2 weeks. Okay, pretty solid. You had Google, right? Not horrible numbers, not horrible, but again, they left a lot of imagination to impress. And again, a lot of people believe, well, look at the run up. Look at the run up from the lows of December, going from 743 to 867. You can make an argument it was baked into the news. And again, the headline read, they blamed a lot of their shortfall on a new tax, quote unquote, tax situation. Okay, we got that as well. So Apple came out, right? Apple came out, big number, big number. Big number, 6.5, almost a 6.5% move. Nice move, very strong move. Went into the 130s. Before selling a little bit off, but massive volume. Obviously, you can expect. And again, when we talk about all the time the feel-good companies, right? The companies that feel good about market sentiment, it's Apple. It's all about Apple. People love Apple. Majority of us have 1 or 2 or 10 Apple products, and everybody just feels nice and warm and toasty when Apple succeeds. And this is kind of what really made the tech sector go today. And you had Facebook after the close, right? You had Facebook after the close. The initial move was good, but again, look at the move. Look at the run up into, right? There's a lot of option activity, a lot of big bets being made on Facebook, and look at the move. The stock went from 114 to 133. Literally in the beginning of the year, so 20-point move. You got a 20-point move on Facebook. Again, not a lot of activity right now after the close, into the close of the ECNs. It ran up $3-4. Now it's kind of backing up into flat. So it's very important to understand that a lot of times, no matter what the earnings situation is, bad, good, and different, a lot of times it is factored in what the stock did. And again, a lot of people talk about past performance doesn't indicate future results, but when you have a stock going from 114 to 134 in a matter of a month, then it's a big move. It's a big move. It's not something to sneeze on. A lot of people, believe that again, just like Google, it's kind of baked into the stock. We'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see how how the stock reacts tomorrow. But after the close, it is pretty much flat. Pretty much flat. The most important part of what we're looking at on the on the macro circuit is why the market is still holding up. If you look at what happened today after the FOMC release, the market kind of went red, right? Kind of went red, and just there wasn't a lot of action. You could turn around and say, well, what held up the market? You had Apple holding up the Dow, obviously. Apple holding up the Dow. The S&P was pretty much flat and red into the Fed, so there was nothing really going there. So you had Apple holding it up. You had Goldman Sachs will never, by the way, never ever go down again. That's right, you heard it here first. Goldman will never go down again. Obviously I'm joking, but you kind of can tell. So you had Apple, you had some of the financials holding up the Dow. So everybody was just saying, if this is so much emphasis, and we had such a big run, well, when the earnings are out of the way, or if there's a big blow up, you should see finally the S&P, kind of come in. Again, that's all fine and dandy. That's a great way of looking at it. But again, nothing in the stock market needs to happen. Remember that. Nothing in the market needs to happen. There's no such thing as overbought. There's no such thing as oversold. Fair value is the closing price. That's it. Again, our opinions mean nothing. We always talk about the price action. So until the market, let's use the S&P as a barometer, until the S&P 500 at least pivots on a close, 2267. Let's stop talking about the magical nasty reversal. Again, it could come anytime. I'm prepared for it. Everybody's prepared for it. Everybody understands that risk we're kind of in the ninth inning. We've been talking about this for a while. So nobody is looking to put on new positions, new risk at this stage of the game. But at least, again, acknowledge that the market can still go higher. There's both sides of the equation that can make a valid argument. So price action is price action. And the most important part is individual setups. And speaking of individual setups, again, pretty solid moves in the live webinar today. Pretty clean. There was only one trade I lost money on. It was a small 17-cent loser on Alibaba, which it was so ironic. I really shouldn't have even made that trade. I talked about it before. I talked about it. It was a very lackluster trade setup. And for some reason I did it. Don't ask me why. Usually I would say, I don't want to take the trade, but it's not even the point of the money. 16, 17 cents on Alibaba. It's not really a big deal. It's more of the fact that I knew I was doing something wrong, but I still did it. And shame on me. I slapped my hand. Shame on me, basically. Other trades today in the room. Some good stuff. Some pretty good stuff. AXGN. These are stocks right off the watch list. AXGN. I bought this thing at 11. It went to 11 and a quarter. I made, pretty much my sales at 11.20s. I got stopped out of my last piece at 11.10 before it reversed. Too low. We bought this on an upgrade. I'm a little bit perturbed of myself. I bought this thing. It ran up about 40 cents. And I missed my sale literally by about 5 cents. So I had to take lower sales. So unfortunately, I only made about 25 cents on this trade. But again, I really like the setup going into tomorrow. One of the more aggressive trades of the day definitely was NVIDIA. NVIDIA, we talked about this 112 break right here, guys. We talked about this 112 break. This is a 16 view. You can see all these tops here: 1189, 1184, 1194, 1194, 112. Once it broke 112, you can see the move that it made. Congratulations for all you guys who bought that as well. Baidu, I called out the pivot. I called out the pivot right here, the 1732 area. And if you look on social media, and this is exactly why I really am a very, very big believer in technical analysis. When you look on social media, I said, Biden has a legitimate shot of getting to 172.58, right? 172.58. It wasn't like 172.60s, 172.58. And look at the low of the day. Look at the low of the day. It's 172.55. I mean, technical analysis worse than the theory of stocks going from supply to support makes all the sense in the world once you start looking at a longer time frame. Really good job there. Really good job there for those who took that as well. What else? TRVN, right off the watch list, guys. Right off the watch list, we had this thing as a $7 break right here. $7 break went to 733. So funny that Yang, I keep on asking, hey guys, who got a piece of this trade? Who got a piece of this trade? And it's so necessary, guys, to tell me who's long these things, because I won't be able to give you proper levels if you don't tell me. So congratulations for those who did take TRVN as a break. Good job there as well. Juno, again, not a big move yet, but I still like the trade. I know several of you guys took it for a scalp. What is going on my screen? I know some of you guys took it for a scalp. I think it is going to go a little higher. I actually want to continue watching this thing. Again, it only put up about a 35-cent move. Okay, it only put up like a 35-cent move from pivot, so not a big move yet. Let's see here. XRA didn't do anything yet. It didn't trigger. TAT didn't trigger. EXAS didn't trigger yet. Let me see FireEye. I did not even see what FireEye did today. I know it was on our watch list yesterday. Didn't look like it did anything. Looks like it gapped up and went lower. So there was obviously no play there. RTTR, I'm still stuck from yesterday. I'm still down about 23 cents in the trade. It was just so thin. I'm going to give it one more day. It did break out yesterday. So the funny thing is I was up 20 cents on the trade, and then I was down 20 cents on the trade. So I'm kind of just holding it here. I'm going to give it one more day. It's still broke above the recent high, so I will give it one more day to see if it can rally tomorrow, but I'll keep a very, very tight stop there as well. Overall, good participation in the room today. Some pretty decent pivots, nothing crazy. There was no, trades that, were out of control. It was just good solid action, So going into tomorrow, again, very, very important to understand the macro point of the tape. Again, 2267 is the area. Tomorrow we have the big report of the day will be tomorrow night will be Amazon. Amazon, is just a beast of a company. We got to keep an eye on it. We definitely got to keep an eye on it. So I will be looking for ranges to trade this thing tomorrow before the afternoon session. The last thing I want to do tomorrow is trade Amazon in the afternoon because, again, if you're going to be shorting Amazon, understand there's going to be dip buyers tomorrow because everybody loves this company. There will be dip buyers. And if you are chasing the stock into earnings, just be careful. The word chasing into earnings should be red flag there enough. Just be very, very smart, especially everybody in the live webinar. Just look for sneaky pivots on all these things for tomorrow. So let's talk about tomorrow. Just in case the futures open up lower, let's keep an eye on Amazon. I know it's probably a gap up, but let's keep an eye on Amazon just in case. Here's this little pivot right here I really like on the daily, and that is that 234 area. I know it's trading above that right now after the close, but you never know if the futures open up lighter. Keep an eye on Amazon tomorrow, 834, 834 or opening range highs. We'll talk about that obviously tomorrow. Google, I still think Google needs one more day of aggressive selling, kind of a throw the baby out with the bathwater scenario. Guys, keep an eye on Google. I want to see this thing kind of wash out around the 50-day, 100-day moving average. Somewhere around this 807, 808 area. And if it starts washing out with big volume, starts going red to green, this could be a very, very aggressive dead cat bounce, multiple day dead cat bounce. So definitely keep an eye on Google for the next several days. Some other names I definitely like for tomorrow. I like Tulo. It stopped at the 50-day moving average. I want to keep an eye on it. Got upgraded today. This thing, I'll tell you, the one thing I like about Tulo, when this thing does run, it does run very aggressively. I want to keep an eye on this thing tomorrow above this 30-50 break, breaking above the 50-day moving average. I kind of like this BCLI. We talked about it in the room today. Above that 309 area, broke out towards the close. I want to keep an eye on this thing, red to green, somewhere around the 315, 320 area. I want to see big buyers in there before the price gets confirmed. So keep an eye on that. Glue, Glue is a former runner. It's had some big moves in the past. Has some good volume today, 6.5 million shares. Take a look at this thing, guys. It has a triple top here, triple top here at 245. If it breaks 245, you have expanding volume. This thing could go. So definitely keep an eye on that. I like this AKAO. It looks interesting. We had this thing in the room several times in the last few weeks. It stopped at the 10-day moving average. Again, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I believe the 10-day moving average is the birth of the trade. And if you draw it to the trend line, right, guys, if you just draw a trend line today, it broke the trend line. So any break tomorrow above $16.90, $17 area can spike this thing up. So keep an eye on that. And the last one I want to watch is SWIR, SWIR. SWR looks pretty good as well. Sierra Wireless, again, pretty much the same setup as AKAO. It broke, it kind of broke below, it kind of broke through this trend here. I think a break above 18 bucks gets this thing going. So keep an eye on SWIR as well. So again, pretty solid session, guys. Just keep working, Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Trading is hard. Trading is difficult. But again, once you develop patience, and again, it's very, very tough to describe. Why am I so patient? Why am I, in this situation that I could sit there literally all day until I get a good setup? Is because I've been doing this for a long time. I know the ramifications about, well, not being patient. And I know the blood fest and the bloodshed and tears, all that good stuff that comes along with not being patient and taking less tier setup. So guys, have a great night, everybody. Come tomorrow bright and early, morning strategy at 9 a.m. We'll talk about all the beta names, all the pivots, and God bless you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys.